So when it comes to an ancient time that I would want to compare, but that I feel has the most comparison to today's present professions, I would say it would be the Greek civilization, mainly because they place a lot of emphasis on the mind and the body as one and not dividing it. With that being said, when teaching physical education, you are taking these students on different activities that deals with advancing their physical. But along with that, you also have to develop the mental, meaning you're teaching them to why the activities they're participating in are helpful to their physical instead of telling them to run a mile. Like, what's the point of that? Well, how can it benefit them, their body as a whole? When it comes to sports, especially with track, what I always say to my own athletes is the sport of track is 90% mental, 10% physical. You can't have an athlete who's not mentally strong and think that they're going to succeed in the sport, because it's a lot more to that, to the adversity that we go through, with the hurdles that we have to overcome. There's a lot more than trying to build, you know, a physical competent individual. There's a lot more to that, and that's why I always say that winning isn't everything, because you have to develop key areas before you can even focus on winning. If that person isn't developed, or if that student isn't developed in what they're learning, or that athlete isn't developing what they're participating in, then there's no point. What is winning? Also, with that being said, you can also go into having also selecting what topic related to the history and philosophy of physical education. I think since me being a former track athlete and me really being into the Olympics, I would pick the Olympics as a topic to focus on. The Olympics brings a lot of history and tradition from what we've read. It teaches us that we can come together as one with different backgrounds and different cultures to bring peace, to not just about competition, but to, like I said, bring unity between different countries and building understanding. And I think that goes with for physical education or just school in general. You have all these diverse individuals and you bring them all together to learn about each other and what different cultures that you can bring to the table, and to instill that into the curriculum. And lastly, based on your knowledge of history and current social trends, what do you predict will be a future topic of interest or concern related to your profession? Um, and why do you think this will be an issue? That's kind of a hard one, because as a track coach, I think the biggest thing or the issue will be, or that is still trending, is legalized illegal supplements. With being a college athlete, there were a lot of things that were off limits, but when it came to nationals, there were a lot of people caught for doing things that they shouldn't have done. So, especially when being placed on a pedestal to be great, there's a lot of pressure of being number one and not letting people down that look up to you and feel that you should be, the greatest in what you do. But I think that would be the biggest one. Would be the illegal drugs and placing people on pedestals because of what people feel that they should be at a certain level.